Welcome once again. This is Ted Hicks from Late Night Parents. We're trying something new here with video pods, shorter clips, longer clips, killing two birds with one stone. Got my boy Shawn Armor in the house. Drew, how you doing?
What up? What up? What up? How are you people doing?
It's been, I think, a couple of weeks since we talked.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks.
Time goes by quick when you're sitting there staring at CNN all day.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the laziest apocalypse. I expected more zombies and people running through the streets and getting loose with the rules. People are just staying home. Like mom was like, none of y'all in the country can go out because you know what you did. You killed off the bees and you poisoned the oceans. You plastic everywhere. Sit your ass at home now. Oh, excuse my language. So now apparently we're all, and apparently I was watching the news and animals are running through some places now because there are no people.
I don't know. I just know it's.
Oh man!
Really, I was working in the city just as this thing was really cranking, and then we started really talking about it daily. And I noticed on the train, it was the population was
thinning, getting
lesser and lesser and lesser.
Yeah,
it was like, oh my goodness. And I, you know, a couple of times you and a few of our friends questioned me, yo, you feel okay hopping on that subway? And I'm like,
right, yes.
What I'm going to do?
I mean, at this point, they're telling you 6 feet. And in my opinion, 6 feet is not enough because I can yell at you and spit on you if I'm like hype about something. Yo, man, the Mets is crazy, right? Like your air travels more. So you would have to be 6 feet from the point of where the air stops, and then the other person would have to be 6. So you're talking about 12 feet, and you can't do that, right? You can't be 12 feet apart from everybody. Well, and now everybody's wearing masks. Like this is Asia.
You know,
should be really hot. We're never angry at the right people.
So many lives lost. So many lives lost. And you know, our government moved slow on the draw. We've got, everyone has someone who's
affected. No, hold on. I take you with that. Our government was not slow on the draw. Our leadership was slow on the draw. People in government told them this is coming.
Yes.
And this is another thing, that the people who lead us are just golfers. You know what I mean? And now it's out of hand and ridiculous. But yeah, we were on point. The problem is always the leadership. Right.
The problem is
because the people who run the apparatus watch the trends and can tell people in the know who are intelligent who make these decisions that, you know, the X is doing Y and we need to be ready for A, B, and C. Right. And that's what you want them to do. Our apparatus is solid. Our leadership is a bunch of golfing country club nonsense billionaires. You know, everybody hates Trump, but none of them are good. Pelosi's not good. Schumer's not good. Yoder the Turtle, what's his name? Mitch McConnell's not good. So it's the class of these people. AOC just sold us out, right? I mean, here's the problem with, I'm for Bernie Sanders, right? At least I was. And the problem with him is I think he's too old. I fear that, God forbid, he passes away, and then who's his vice president?
Ageism. You just threw out there ageism.
No, yeah, I did. I am. But I thought Hillary Clinton was too old. Barack Obama was the right age. George Bush Jr. was the right age. About 50-ish, 60-ish, right? I get that. But these 85-year-olds, and now when this virus comes through Washington,
he's younger than Biden.
We're just going to be having a lot of state funerals. He's younger than Biden, man.
He's younger than Biden.
Yeah, probably by like what, a fart. How much younger is he? Like a year?
Right, probably like a year.
Yeah, they shouldn't be. Look, the American military, they're all in government. They should take a lesson from the American. I'm sorry for pointing my finger. They should all take a lesson from the American military. And the American military's generalship has to retire unless the president specifically extends them, and I think he can extend them for a limited amount of time, 4 or 5 years. But you don't get to be 90 years old and be a general. You look like these guys in North Korea with their giant bellies and their medals down to their knees. You know, I mean, they're connected, but they're not credible.
Terrible.
You know, exactly. But our military, you look at these guys; they're 65, they're about to retire. Those guys are carved out of stone. You know what I mean? They are not for games, and we should respect their opinion on it. Ageism, yes.
Ageism, body shaming.
Yes, I'm body shaming you, pudgy bastards, all of you. What else? Well, there had to be something else in there. Cursing.
You know,
I don't know.
No, that's fine. This is strictly for YouTube. This is strictly for YouTube feed.
Oh, good. We can get loose with the rules then.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But when you're sitting here, and now I think I shared an article that was posted on the New York Daily News.
Yeah.
They're saying everyone should wear a mask. And I'm going to tell you, I've been wearing this.
Yeah, but they weren't saying that 2 weeks ago, right? So now...
You told me wearing a variation of this mask.
Yes, that's smart. So you take that, you cut a coffee filter, you know, and you wrap it between like two sleeves, and then you've got like this triple layer, and you should be pretty good. But yeah, that's another good thing. People need to take this seriously. My nephew came over here. I love you, Vaughn, but he came over here, and I was yelling at him because he I think he thinks he's invincible.
Comes with a filter that you put in there, and filters that you can hot swap. Because
but the problem is, I think a lot more people are going to have to make their own, and no one makes anything anymore.
No one makes anything anymore. It gets
But think about this: there are some people who can still sew, which is a dying art. But when I was a kid, when I was a kid, they sort of ended it. But my sister is 5 years older than me, so my sister may be rusty, but she knows how to sew. Because back then, we had what they don't have in high schools now, which was economics classes, right? I learned to cook my first meal in an economics class. I had wood shop, right?
Wood shop, home improvement.
Right, exactly. Home improvement, exactly. So all these things where they teach you how to sew and how to budget, they took out of schools. And now, you know, you sort of need some of those silly little things that your grandmom would have taught you, you know, in the 1800s, like how to make a mask, because there are shortages. They so undercut us as citizens by telling you how much freedom you have when they essentially thrown down all this control on everything you do. The freest thing in America is the internet, and they're trying to shut that down, right?
Let me tell you this much. We see certain things on here, on this channel, or on this feed right here.
Right.
You could get shut down. That's what I'm hearing about YouTube. YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube demonetizes and like if you report on something, they shut down people who were reporting on the Iraq War.
Yeah.
And people, you know, and it's like you're reporting. You're not really kind of like.
And you don't need to be Alex Jones. You know, totally.
Look, man, the people at the top are disconnected from what is going on, and I really do think that they run a risk here. You know, people are not going to be hungry. People may be hungry, but they won't be happily hungry. They will push back on this. You're my government. What did you do for me? Right. So now you have unemployment numbers at 6.6%, when for the last 10 years they were trying to sell you the glory of the gig economy, where you don't have a retirement plan and health insurance and all this stuff. And now
talked about that on where you can remember being in your car and driving and turning to NPR and hearing about the gig economy. But
see, here's the thing about how sinister that is. The way they sold it to you was, well, I can be my own boss. I'm a self-starter. Gig economy, here I come. And that's the magic of America, quite frankly. America is this medicine wagon. You know the philosophy of the medicine wagon?
Mm-mm.
So really quickly, maybe a couple hundred years ago when there were wagons and horses, the guys will come through and go, oh, I have the elixir of a lifetime. It cures baldness. It cures infertility. It cures, diarrhea. It cures gout. And it'd be just some weird nonsensical crap that they made in the basement. And after they sold it to you, they move on. And sometimes it was just alcohol. Sometimes they're adorable. Sometimes it was just alcohol. Sometimes it was stuff that poisoned you, flat out. But by the time you realize this, these medicine wagon con men, Dr. Jones's super elixir would be gone and move to the next town. And this is kind of what we're becoming. You cannot give people, $1,200 in the most balling place in the world and expect that to cover rent. First of all, rent in New York is $3,000, right? And I'm in Virginia. Yeah. Rent here is $1,500, right? If I slide out to Montana, maybe rent is so you'll get 2 weeks rent in New York and no one rents for 2 weeks. You might get 1 month here. You may get a month and a half in Wyoming, but at the end of the day, you should be dropping like $30,000 per American because you mangled it, quite frankly. 6.6, the unemployment rate has doubled since last week. And the week before that, doubled. So by next week, what's this, Wednesday? We're looking at 12 million people unemployed.
Really?
Yes, it's 6.6 now. This thing is doubling every year.
So
not every week. Even the virus count is doubling every week.
Last week was 3.28. This year,
now it's 6.6
our
this week.
Friend reached out to us this morning in a text and said 6.6 million people file for unemployment benefits.
Yeah, some of them who had never, they felt bad about it because some people worked in law offices, as paralegals and all this stuff. But this is the slam, right? So it's not just people who always do it, or not. That's bad phrasing. I'm going to apologize to those people who are used to doing it because of the economics of America. Like if you're on the bottom, it's hard to get off the bottom. But now it's people who were barely getting by now slammed down, and now it's people who had a little leeway, like 1 or 2 or 3 months. Now having to look for that because that 1 or 2 or 3 months went to rent.
Do you know if the unemployment is the $600 up to $600 that was being talked about, or is it still the?
I don't know what they're doing because I don't think again that's Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and I'm about to say McCain and Yoda the Turtle. What is his name?
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell, right? So these three are supposed to be figuring this thing out with plans, and then taking it to the president, who's supposed to decide on the best plan to go through. And they're all at war with each other, right? They're all safe. They've disappeared from Washington to their opulent, mansions, and we're out here on our own. This is how you get revolutions. And I keep telling people, what are you, ridiculous? America was founded on revolutions. Stop being nonsensical. But I think they've moved a lot of Americans' energy to loving Europe, right? But at the end of the day, people are not going to love Europe more than they love like food and toilet paper. You know what I mean? They're going to start asking really hard questions like, who are you and why have you been there for 30 years? And what exactly is your great accomplishment? Having been there 30 years, right? So yeah, I expect the place to get really loose with the rules in about a month. Did you see gun sales and ammunition are through the roof. Did you see that?
Yeah. Did you see in Virginia? Did you have that toilet paper and paper towels hoarding?
Yeah, we've got like, look, this is all touchy-feely. This is the same vein of thoughts and prayers. It doesn't really do anything. I saw something tonight about like a kid who raised money for not raise money. I'm sorry. Kids always raise money. He somehow managed to get masks and gloves for doctors, and people are like, oh, you're great, and you're 9, and I'm like, yeah, great. Now, only thing we need to do is have him teach that to every other 9-year-old in the country, right? Because even if he raised 500 masks, it's ridiculous. And if he raised 1 million, then shame on the people in charge for not having, you know what I mean? So this is where we are. It's all this touchy-feely, singy, songy, all in this together, and we've never all been in this together. So now is the time to be in this together, or the people in charge are going to pay a price, and I don't know, man. It's what price that is remains to be seen. It really does. But in a world of perpetual revolution all throughout the Middle East, and don't act like it can't happen here, because there are two oceans. We can get loose with each other just fine.
I just want to go back to the fact that if you are a freelancer in anything that you do, it's like, this is not the time to be it.
Yeah. Being an artist is a brutal game all the time, quite frankly. But in times like these, where not only is your economic life at risk, which can put you on the street, but your actual life is at risk, which can put you in a box. I just lost my uncle, right? And it was pretty much this.
Yeah, my condolences, man.
Yeah, it's just, I worry about my mom. I worry about my dad.
Right.
My brother drops stuff off to them in the garage and locks it and leaves, and then he wipes down the boxes and takes it. I mean, we're all sequestered, and I can't go to my Uncle Julius's funeral because the bodies are essentially hazmat items.
Yes.
My mom can't go to her brother's funeral, and she's in Delaware. My uncle died in Brooklyn. He's in a freezer. It's just the people in charge are in opulent places. You know what they did? They ordered a lot of stuff on Amazon and then sent their help away, and now their help is on what's that? Assisted, what is it, EBT? So, because this is how it is. This is the most clever system in building and chaining people to wealth, right? So a lot of people who just a month ago thought they were in a great position,
right,
a month later laid off by people that they liked. Nobody, you're the help. Why am I going to have you in my giant house? You know what I mean? Or, all these dog walkers. I've always thought these jobs were for children anyway, right? These are the jobs that you have when you're first learning. Paperboy, dog walker, and why 30-year-old college graduates doing this in Brooklyn? You know what I mean? Because they sold you this wild nonsense, and now up against a virulent strain of whatever this is. And the last time this was around, they say it was the 1900 flu, which we'd be lucky if it was that, because this could easily be, 75 years ago was the Black Plague, and that killed half of China, a third of China, and half of Europe, right? So it wasn't that, and it got rid of serfdom, and it essentially wiped out European slavery because there weren't enough people to run these barons and all this stuff. But when that happened, you know what the rich did? You know what the Pope did? He slid off into an isolated castle and kingdom by himself, where he was protected from it. So this is a lot of that. This doubles every week, or every week to 10 days. If you look at the numbers, they're telling you 6 million people, but they also told us that a lot of people can't get through on these phones, right? So that means if you can't get through, I'm pretty sure you've got twice the volume, 3 times the volume. So that may mean that the unemployment rate is 12, 18%.
I was speaking with someone today.
Yeah.
Someone today was telling me, a family member stated that they were trying to, well, 2 people, they were trying to call in their unemployment benefits, and they said the wait time was 6 hours.
Yes, and if you hit it online, it crashes.
I said, how is it 6 hours when
all these children?
It was an automated service.
No.
You actually speak with a person?
The only thing automated in America is taking money out of your pocket to give it to state officials. So you can pay anything like this, tickets, traffic, whatever, home, whatever. But once the government owes you money, you got to file paperwork, you sit online and wait 6 weeks for a paper check. You know what I mean? It's this kind of one-way river that we're dealing with. And it gets it gets countries undone, especially when something like this doubles every week. And if you really want to know, the world should be angry at China, right? The world, they're still playing political propaganda games when, quite frankly, my uncle's death is on China. And I'm one of a million people who can say that. And in 2 weeks, it might be 5 million. And 1 million here in America. So, you know, the people in charge should at least talk seriously about the problems. And they don't do that. Someone in there in Washington should be saying what I'm saying. And someone else should have a different view of the same thing. But no one is even broaching the topic, which is why I really think that, and mind you, they're all 70 and better. So this is bad for all of them. You know, if this gets into the Washington, they can't all go watch the Washington seriously. First of all, they want to stop voting, which is, in my opinion, go fuck yourself. Once we stop voting, we lose the sense of what we are. And first, you got a British prince living in California, which shouldn't be happening. I mean, the whole thing is just slid into this. I told people, I don't know if America is Cuba before the fall. If you people who know Cuba history, I mean, they were balling out of control while people were starving in the, you know, I'm about to say the field, but in the outer, not the outer lands, but, you know, like the rural areas. Mm-hmm. And then Castro came for them out of the blue. You know, it's not like, so yeah, I mean, history is informative, you know. So
I just want to touch on.
I mean, and I'm a middle of the road guy, but my anger is growing. And I know if I'm a middle of the road guy and my anger is growing, there are people who are super hot, right? But if I'm middle of the road, then people who are super mild are rising because, you know, I'm out of my comfort zone with my anger at my country, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people are getting there too. And nobody has been giving anybody really good answers or really good responses to their pain. And while all of this goes on, I'm about to wrap up. While all of this goes on, we're still going to have hurricanes and tornadoes. You know what I mean? These people are going to need.
All that's coming.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, summer's coming. People bring heat. You're going to
take a step back. Take a step back in something that you said your brother picked up some.
Yeah, he's like he'll buy groceries for my mom and dad or whatever, and he'll leave them in the garage. And I got to tell you, so I had a phone call this week because I know sometimes you guys think I'm just crazy or just doing whatever, and I had a phone conversation with my dad, and he said, "Okay, so I'm down to the last 4 rolls of toilet tissue." He was like, "I've gone into the stores, they're wiped out.
I had to go pick some up for him. It's not like I can have interaction with him because he's in his 80s. So I'm like, I'm going to leave him at the door. I'm going to ring the doorbell, and I'm going to send him a text message. And I'm going to drive off."
Right.
And it was funny because before I got home, he called me to say thanks.
It's like it's contraband. You got to be like, yo, at this time, man. Don't tell the cops. I'm going to drop this package in the secret location. What is that? What is that? That quality toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like, oh, what's going on? What? This, all of a sudden, we're a third world country in a matter of 3 weeks. People are hoarding toilet paper and paper towels.
The hoarders have just, I mean, and here it is, 4, 5, 6 weeks in, and the hoarders are still at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much can you buy?
Because every week people realize, man, it's been 2 weeks. I'm down to like, I mean, I am Katie Louise's son. I've got stored this crap here because that's the way my mother taught me to be. But even I am like, even as I go through the grocery stores, you know, I'm an ex-smoker. I smoked cigarettes for like 18 years. And then I quit, right? But I still mess with things that I shouldn't mess with. So I look at, even though the percentage of death rate for my age group is like 4%, I exacerbate it by my lifestyle. I like to drink, I like to smoke, but I also alleviate some of that stuff, right? I'm a runner, and I work out a lot, and you know, so life is contradictions, right? So in your whatever your personal contradiction may be, whatever your personal situation may be, you should have some contradiction in it. So if you like to drink, you should be a runner. If you like to cook and eat, then you should be, I don't know, whatever the contradiction of that is, right? I'm sort of angry and wild, but I also paint and draw, right? So having said all that, I sit in this little apartment, which I'm no longer calling an apartment. It's now a bungalow because I'm going to be here likely for the next 2 years.
Right.
On lockdown, you know, a single guy, if I wanted to talk to you, pretty as you are, you're probably infected. Hey, you want my toilet paper? Mine. Right? So the longer this nonsense goes on, the more ridiculous people's logic about it is gonna be. The more loose with the rules. And like I said, I think the Black Plague was around Europe for like 3 years. I think the Spanish flu was around for about as long. So this isn't just gonna end with the summer. And there's always a re-kick. So yeah. I think you should listen to what the politicians are telling you, and then learn how to sew masks or something.
I'm listening.
But a lot of people are out of work.
Fauci and Dr. Sanjay Gupta. That's who I'm listening.
Yeah. First of all, all of these people are just propagandists at this point. They're all telling you happy stories about stuff and not telling you.
The doctors?
Yes. Look. The thing about the way America's blanket is spread, no matter what you are, they have someone who they can bring up and tell you whether, oh, look, this guy's respectable. He's a doctor. I'm going to remind you, when I was in college, I used to go down to what were those things? They were like tapes. Anyway, these old files of like the New York Times from like 1912. Or there was a microfilm, but like you like churn it, and it was, I think it was something like. But the thing about it was, I would go back and read what they said about black people. So and so, a young Negro colored boy, back to like 1912, 1921, and
okay.
There was always a doctor telling you why somebody was off, right? Dr. So and so of Columbia University said that, Negroes have a small skull and are super hyper. And I'm like, see, they always have somebody, right? So now whenever they whip a doctor out going, hey, trust me, I'm a doctor. My first position is, right? I'm like, okay. Then I got to go online and look up your history, when you went to school and who you know. There's a lot of it's like I call them Clintonites. There's a lot of Clintonites who are anchors and on TV. And like they're everywhere. So if you have a problem with the Clintons, you're talking to people who are Clintonites, who are also anchors and writers and journalists, and they push back on you. So everybody's got this kind of, you have to know who everybody's. I play a lot of RPG games online.
Mm-hmm.
Just bought Bannerlord, and it's. Those games tell you, okay, they're like 9 factions, and these are all the players, and these are low players, and these are the higher players, and this is a king. Don't mess. So like, oh, you get X point for this, and you get experience, blah, blah, blah. So even as that goofy game plays out, it's sort of based in the life that we live of, these are the players in Congress. These are the super important people. These are their minions. These are the lower guys. These are their pages. These are their associates and adjutants who aren't officially official with them, but will, like those CPACs, not really a Biden or a Trump CPAC, but they'll throw ads against you, and then Trump can go, hey, I don't know those people, So they have these allies separated by degrees. So you watch the whole thing play out in our government. If you're one of these people like me who play these games and follow politics, and can make these weird, like, I'm about to say delineation, but, can make these weird sort of compositions of how each thing complements other things. You see that our government is not serious. it's too many people past their fighting age to be telling us what to do, and they seem to be controlled by their adjutants, right? The people that they should control, these like the corporations and the media, they are now subjects of like Fox News. Like if Fox News says something, all of a sudden people are repeating it who are politicians. That's ass backwards and upside down, right? So you watch this and everybody's 80 and now you got a pandemic going around that will cleanly take you off the table if you're over 70. And most of, I mean, it's what.
Hey, so I want to jump.
I think it's dangerous. Oh yeah, go ahead.
And get your take, final take on Louisiana Mayor LaToya Cantrell, because she's defending herself for not canceling the Mardi Gras celebration in February.
Well, they have to defend themselves because the whole point is deny.
Hold on. Because of the coronavirus concerns, saying she proceeded as others did on a state and national level, and there were no red flags at the time.
That's true. Mardi Gras was 2 weeks ago, right?
No,
wait, when was Mardi Gras?
In February, when we were hearing about it.
We're just hitting April, so 4 weeks ago, into February, right? So yeah, 4 weeks ago. The only people who really knew about it and was sounding the alarm, I think, were government people. The media wasn't really even on it. You can go back. I mean, everything is archived now with the internet.
Congress was.
So I don't think
Congress.
No, because Congress. But yeah, but that's Congress. They should have told us something. They should have made an announcement. She's it's essentially a local mayor, right? So her apparatus is not going to be as good as theirs. And now this is all hindsight, backseat quarterbacking on some of this. Excuse me. That's not corona. That's a weak cough.
I'm not laughing for anyone that has corona or anything. It's just the fact that you had the nerve to say that's not corona. I just want to.
Yeah, you don't want to walk into like your local bodega or supermarket and be like, and everybody look at you funny.
They're all closed.
Yeah. Are they really? I thought that would be essential. They're a bodega. They sell food.
The bodegas.
Man, these numbers are going to go through the roof.
I took
unemployment numbers.
I took my wife's car to the mechanic on the day they were closing. And he said, Ted, you're lucky because we're closing now.
Yeah, mechanic saw it.
Hey, he said, we're non-essential. He said, I'm going to fix your brakes. Come back in 2.5 hours. And when I came back, the shop was fully swept out. All the cars were out, and boom. I tell you, you go on Hempstead Turnpike. You drive down from Long Island where you can hit Jamaica.
Right.
It has that feel of Superstorm Sandy, where you just nothing is open.
The place is empty. The place is empty. Wow. It's an amazing thing. I think we're going to look back on this in years to come and marvel at it because the whole world is doing the same thing. Yeah. Well, it's not like America made us Americans do it and everybody's going, what is going on in America? Now, gaming channels in England, they're all, and some places can't do it. India has 1 billion people
doing it, but America, you still got states. You got North Carolina shut down, and they're having.
Well, there's always ridiculous people who expose us to risk, right? There's that couple who escaped quarantine, and then the Canadian government put them in the wilderness in a one-room cabin. I was like, wow. So there's always one person, and there's always the government who's happy to set the example as to what we will tolerate from our citizenry. But the citizenry, at the end of the day, calls the shots. Once they think that you are insufficient and ill-equipped to deal with this, you get revolutions, right? People are not going to be happy to be hungry with, shitty butts, quite frankly, while all the millionaire 70-year-olds sit in one of their 6 or 7 houses, right? I mean, this is, and it starts just like the French Revolution. It started in bars. People are sitting talking like this.
I do want to
know what the hell is going on.
I do want to know one thing. True, you offend
excuse
everyone.
My language, by the way. I'm sorry. Excuse my language.
No.
Excuse my language, by the way.
I said you offend everyone equally. There hasn't been a specific group.
Yes, I speak to the enlightened. If you can get from where I'm from, then you and I are brethren of a sort. All I want is a problem to be solved, and I want the evil to be undone. This is my when the Democrats do evil, when the Republicans do evil stuff, the Democrats scream. When I was a Democrat, now I hold no party affiliation, but when I was a Democrat, and then when the Democrats did that same thing, Democrats would defend it, right? So you just keep a spoiled and rotten system running versus, I don't know, man.
Wow.
Maybe we just need everybody from West Point and, I forgot what the name of the Air Force Academy is, and, all those kids from Paris Island to just run for office when they're about 40, because they know loyalty and discipline, and they won't sell us out to foreign nationals, giant conglomerates. They may be bad, but they won't be traitorous. So, but right now, I just think you can't take money from a foreign government and then run for American office and be, you know what I'm saying? And this is where we are. It's step after step after step into the basement. And we're so deep into the basement that we're standing in sewage water up to our top lip. You know what I'm saying? And now there's a plague. And everybody's going, who's in charge?
Where can we find your rantings, your ratings?
My rantings.
All above.
I'm going to try and get my rantings up. They've been slipping. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter as Black Swan, True Armor, Black Swan. Either one of those is fine. You know what a Black Swan is?
No.
A Black Swan is a unforeseen event that changes your life immediately and instantly forever. We are in a Black Swan event. That's why I changed the name just for.
Okay.
So and I'm on Twitter at Armor Intergalactic. I'm sorry, I'm on YouTube at Armor Intergalactic, and I'm gonna try and get my podcast game up. Yours is really solid. You're one to follow.
Oh man. You're far too kind. You're far too kind, even though that you offend everyone except me.
I don't mean to offend everyone. I want to make friends.
You offended every group, party.
Did I say anything about the gays? Boom! No, I'm just.
No.
Bam!
That's when the YouTube channel goes down. It's like
demonetize. Exactly.
Oh man, but no.
Oh my gosh.
And this is Ted Hicks from Late Night Parents. Ways to follow the show, latenightparents.com.